Hi, this is Roca Cruz, and welcome to Be.Live. Be yourself and live your purpose, where we talk about being yourself and living your purpose. I want to start a short series today about advocacy, but not the kind we usually think about. When we hear advocacy, we think of causes, world peace, mental health, justice, climate change. We think of rallies, movements, speaking up for others. All of that matters. But there's a kind of advocacy almost nobody talks about, self advocacy. And I want to explain it through a story. So let me tell you about Clara. Clara is 50 years old. She went to her doctor for a routine checkup. Her labs came back showing high cholesterol. The doctor looked at the result and said, "Your cholesterol is high. You need to take statins to lower your cholesterol." And she wrote a prescription. The whole consult took less than 3 minutes. The doctor did not question about her lifestyle, no question about her sleep, diet, family history, or how she felt about the medication. The doctor just wrote a prescription. Now, Clara is not someone who likes to argue. Like most of us, she trusts doctors. So she nodded, took the prescription, and left. But something didn't sit right. She wasn't refusing treatment. She wasn't being difficult. She just wanted to understand. What's this high cholesterol? Will I die? She expected the doctor to ask her questions. She expected a conversation with her. And she expected care. Instead, she felt the doctor just dismissed her. And even though she followed the doctor's advice, her gut felt robbed of something important. That moment, that quiet discomfort, that feeling of something is missing. And that's where self advocacy begins. Self advocacy is not being loud, it's not fighting the doctor, it's not refusing help. It's that inner voice saying, "I want to understand. I want to be part of this decision. I want more than just a shortcut." And Clara didn't want to control the doctor or the situation. She actually just wanted partnership. And that's something many of us experience. We comply, but inside we feel unseen. We follow, but inside we feel disconnected. We do what we're told, but our body and intuition are left out. That's not care, that's management. And self advocacy is simply this, not ignoring that inner signal. It's pausing and saying, "Can you explain this to me?" Or, "What are my options? Can we talk about the why?" Or just asking, "I need more information before I decide." And those questions are not being selfish. That's being present in your own life. Because you can only give what you have. If you are unheard, rushed, and disconnected, whatever you give comes from emptiness. But when you're informed, grounded, and included, what you give others is real. Many of us are taught that being good means being quiet. That asking question is being difficult. That authority should not be challenged. So we stop listening to ourselves, and over time, that shows up as fatigue, confusion, resentment, that feeling of drifting through decisions that affect our lives. Self advocacy is how you stay in the room when your life is being discussed. So here's a simple takeaway for today. Self advocacy is not about opposing others, it's not abandoning yourself. It starts small with noticing, with listening, with trusting that your questions matter. Just like Clara. This week, I want you to notice something. Where have you followed along even though something inside you wanted to ask more? No fixing, no confronting, just noticing. Write it down. Open your journal and write down this. Notice something where you just followed along even though something inside you wanted to ask more. Write it down. Because self advocacy always starts with listening. In the next episode, we'll talk about why so many of us lost touch with that inner voice in the first place and how to start finding it again. If this episode resonated with you, please like, share, subscribe to Be.Live, Be Yourself, and Live Your Purpose. You never know who might need to hear this today. So thank you for being here, and remember to listen to yourself.